Intent between the British Prime Minister Tony Blair and Libya's leader Muammar Gaddafi. We're joined now in Los Angeles by Omar Turbi. Mr. Turbi, our apologies. We've sorted it all out now. I think you can hear me. How pivotal was this meeting for both leaders?
I think it's rather important. There has not been a senior official from the UK visiting Libya since 60 years ago. And it's a culmination of the many serious discussions and dialogue that's been taking place between the United States, the UK being in the middle, and Libya. And as you know, President Bush announced December 19th that Libya has decided to do away with the weapons of mass destruction. So the UK, Tony Blair and Bush feel like there has to be something in return for what Libya has done. So I believe that Tony Blair's visit to Libya will score on two fronts. One would be a political one, and the second one, business. Tony Blair is attempting to secure some business for the aerospace business, I would say, namely Airbus. They've been having some discussions with Libya, and they're talking about possibly some even military cooperation and perhaps setting up a program where they would have Libyans go to the UK and study in the military academies there.
Libya is vowing to work with Britain in fighting terror. Gaddafi himself, though, seen by many people as a terrorist himself. What do you make of that, and are you surprised by what he said today?
Well, I think Libya has been out of the quote-unquote terrorism business for quite some time. So it's not something that we can put our hands on in most recent months or years, as a matter of fact. So I think it's very interesting times that the U.S. and Britain are coming closer to Libya. I'm very much for it. I think it's going to open up a lot of fronts for the Libyan people that's been suffering actually under UN sanctions, and it'll I think it'll reduce the hardships, and it will create for a better environment.
Blair certainly got something to gain out of this, as you pointed out, business contracts and so forth. Do you think he's also doing some of the dirty work for the U.S. President, George W. Bush? It's an election year, and maybe he won't want a photo op with Muammar Gaddafi and a handshake.
Well, I don't know if you would want to categorize it as dirty work. I think the UK and the United States have been partners for a long time, and they work hand in hand. Of course, you see what they're doing in Iraq and other places in the world. But there's been a flurry of activities by European prime ministers, the Spanish one as well as the Italian one. And I think it's not a popular move on Blair to make his trip at this time, especially he had just left Madrid for the terrorist act that had taken place there. But I think the positive most definitely outweigh the negatives, and I'm rather pleased at the visit.
How does the rest of the Arab world, you think, feel about this new relationship between Libya, the United States, and Britain?
Well, the Arab world is complaint since late December, which is, in my opinion, justified in some ways, that Libya has given up its weapons rather quickly. I'm one of those people that feels even if the West, the United States and Britain, want to serve their interests best, I think they should have taken their time dismantling and moving slightly slower. I wouldn't say years, but several months, which means that it would create for and open up more issues to deal with, and more constructive ideas would emerge. So if you're talking about the Arab world, most definitely they're not happy with the fact that Libya has given up, quote unquote. They say that Libya gave up its weapons of mass destruction and didn't really get anything in return for it.
Libya expert Omar Turbi, thank you very much.